Now, I know I'm the only thing standing between you and half a drink, so I will be brief. So I just want to tell you briefly about the FDC3 project. I think it's kind of relevant to a number of the things that we talked about earlier tonight, because FDC3 is actually a community-based project in Finos. I think it's one of it may be the oldest project in Finos. And it is truly community-based in the sense that it's a standards group that has arisen out of finance for the needs of finance, and is balanced between many different stakeholders from different organizations that, and in many cases, to some of the points from Don earlier, you have people that move from place to place within their organizations across finance that take FDC3 with them because they're passionate about it, and I'm actually one of those people. So it's very cool. And the other thing that relates to all this is that it is a standards group, and it is a set of standards for interoperability between applications. So this is the simplest example of what we call app interop. Is the interop you use all the time on your phones. You go to share a photo, you tap on the photo, it's going to show you a list of apps that you can share that photo through, and that list is based on the environment of your phone, your personal preferences, and it's going to sort of magically copy and paste that photo into that app in the exact context where you want it. And all that works through, if you're an Android, through an actual formal intent system, and if you're an iOS, through a sort of less formal intent system. FDC3 is, in fact, largely an intent system to do interoperability just like that on the desktop, or actually across many different things. And so it's pretty exciting. So if you're interested, please get involved, reach out. You can try to grab me while we're having half a drink after this. So I just want to give you some brief updates what's happening at FDC3 land. So we just recently released our 2.0 version. There are many things that went into that. I think for me, and probably I hope for many people in the community, big things about that is that it's fully promiseified. So if you're a JavaScript, TypeScript person, you know what that means. Otherwise, it just means that it's fully async, which it wasn't totally yet. It also has, I mentioned intents earlier, intents that now can return data, which was always sort of part of the spec, but the full mechanism was never completely specified. And there's been lots of improvements to a core piece of the standard called the app directory. 1.2 conformance. This has been a huge effort on the part of Finos to sort of create a coherent set of tests, actually in Scott Logic as well. Thank you, Colin, and the whole team there, to basically ensure that different providers of FDC3 functionality are doing so in a consistent way. And the amazing thing is that as of today, because I just got the news, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm the CEO of a company called Connectifi, which is listed at the bottom there. We are a very new company, so you may not have heard of us, but we are just the last ones there to get certified as 1.2 conformant, which means that pretty much any provider of FDC3 you use today would meet that standard for the 1.2 spec. There's also, I want to draw your attention to that there's a lot of open source tooling that's been happening and being developed in the community. A lot of it within Finos, not all of it, but much of it within Finos. So you have FDC3 Sail, which is a fully end-to-end open source FDC3 implementation that's built on Electron. So it works like a desktop container if you're familiar with that kind of technology. There's also Glue42 Core, which provides a FDC3 implementation in the client and browser. Backplane is a project around bridging between desktop containers. This is actually very cool. One of the FDC3 maintainers recently from Morgan Stanley, this is a great bank contribution. Brian Ingenito contributed because all the types were originally done in TypeScript, and he went through the pain of porting all that to .NET. So we now have a full .NET interface for FDC3, which is super cool. There are also some great development tools, FDC3 Workbench, which is sort of embedded into the project. There's also a new project from a developer out of S&P called FDC3 Installer, and there's also something that Connectifi just open sourced recently called FDC3 Web Portal that allows you, sort of like gives you a framework for creating FDC3 within a single web page. So I'm going to wrap it up really fast because you might kill me if you don't get your half a drink. So just a few things about what we're talking about right now, because these are coming. If you find these topics resonating with you, then please talk to people in the community. You can also definitely bother me about it. I love to talk about these things. Things that people are talking about right now is FDC3 running in browser and web. Originally, FDC3 was a technology that was only implemented in sort of containers. There are a lot of different approaches that people are taking right now. So, this is an exciting area. Bridging. So again, this is bridging between different technologies that are using FDC3. Again, a lot of different approaches that people are taking right now. So very exciting topic. And identity. And again, this is both application identity and person identity. And those are both super exciting topics. Personally, I'm passionate about all three of these. So if you want to bother me afterwards, I'm happy to talk about them. So that's about it. I'm going to stop it there. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to James and for letting me fly out here from New York and bother everybody for a few minutes. And if you want to learn more about FDC3, do so through Finos, or hopefully we can chat a little bit afterwards. Bye.
Cool.